Chopper, not Chopper. Anyway.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Kind of mid-sentence as we went live there, because we were talking behind the scenes a little bit. So
as we usually do, right?
as we usually do to try to get
scheme.
situated.
Scheme the bullet points.
Exactly.
So anyways,
happy Sunday.
So this one's going to be interesting. This one, I think for the first portion, I'm going to let Dirk lead a lot of it because I got screwed out of going to the knife show because I lost coverage at work that I was told I was going to get by two
Luck
people.
Knives in the house. What up, Mike?
So, but we're going to talk about TKI, and Dirk's going to do that because he was able to be present. And then I think me and Dirk are going to talk about some of our latest acquisitions and things, and maybe show a few things and critique a few things. Yeah,
that works for me. So we talked a little bit about CCKS and TKI. I did kind of a quick live stream when I got back on Monday. I did an unboxing. So if you missed that, I did an unboxing of some very cool stuff from VC Edge. So I met Jason down at the show, and he gave me a not really real gold, but a golden coin that he made with his logo there, and then some periodic table stuff here, and he's kind of saying anything worth doing is worth overdoing, which I thought was super cool. I don't know if it's the only coin he's ever made, but pretty sure it's the only one he's given out so far. And he did say that he should do more. So that was super cool. But really what was cool was the fixed blade that he gave me to borrow. I got to send this back. This is a small kitchen knife, probably I guess a paring knife. I don't know anything about kitchen stuff. I got to ask my son what he thinks. I got to get this over to him to test out and use a little bit. But it is exactly like his interface, but in a fixed blade and a little bit different shape and size, but constructed the same with a really nice kitchen type handle. So
I want to pause right there, Dirk, because first of all, I want to rewind to the coin. The coin is badass, dude.
It is. It's because I'm not gonna lie.
You get a challenge coin, but that one has actually little separate metal, colored, inlays. Pressed in. Yeah, inlays basically. Dude, that's awesome. I think that is really cool. And that's just an example of a knife maker supporting, the guys out there supporting him. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was super honored by this. And I'm sure he's going to make more. I'm not delusional to think I'm the only person going to have a coin like that. But yeah, the coin is very cool.
Next, I saw your video on that, and that is a super cool thing. But I would argue that, yes, I kind of see the paring knife profile for cutlery. Yes. But if it were me, because it looks so much like an interface, I would just advertised it as an interface fixed blade.
So
I think that would have been more what I would have done with
this. Isn't advertised as anything yet. This is a pre-prototype. And he didn't have a name for it. So if anybody's got name ideas for something like this, shoot us a comment. Let us know what you might think. Even if you're watching this after the fact, I'll be checking the comments after the fact. I still need to do my normal full video on this as well. It's got kind of red liners. I mean, it's super cool. And next to the actual
interface, you show me the wait. Can you show me the spine again? What's on top of there? It looks like something's pressed in.
It's his normal logo that says what blade steel it is. It's M390. Cool. He's going to use different steel when it becomes kitchen knife worthy, because apparently there are some other steels that are better suited for kitchen work.
Right.
But he normally uses M390. That's what he has around, whatnot, right?
It's very
So
nice.
next to the actual interface, just for some size comparison here, let me see if I can. You know what I really need to do is I need to upgrade and get like a top-down camera, like Bob, the knife junkie has. He has, his knife cam.
The station.
I need to upgrade to that. But here it is, kind of as a size comparison. And you can see the blade is different sized and shaped a little bit. The fixed blade is a little more pointy towards the end.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We got some names down here. The Interfixie from Luck Knives.
I have it. I have better than that. The
Instead
intercourse.
of interface, the fixed face.
The intercourse, man.
Intercourse. Oh boy. And what I thought was the most interesting is a few days later when I talked to Jason, he told me that he came up with the sheath idea the night before.
The intercourse, man. That is. Dude,
I'm just trying to ignore
genius.
that. So he must have 3D printed this or something. I don't know, but he designed and created this the night before the show. It's just amazing. The dude's
I'm
freaking
such a 5-year-old, man. I'm sorry.
Luck. Kind of surprised it actually has scales and aren't just integrated to the blade. Yeah, it's totally weird. These are all fused together. So there's no hardware. So I'm guessing there's an inner core, then liners, and then the carbon fiber on the outside, and then all just fused together. I guess.
He's really good at like that material fusion deal. Like he's really, really good at that.
And then back on the top of the handle, probably can't read that. Prototype number 002. Super cool. I'm super excited to be able to handle it. I let my girlfriend use it to cut some stuff. I did like a little YouTube short, got like 12 views, but yeah. That's fast prototyping. Yep.
I like it. I like it very much. And I like the fact that he left some girth on the handle.
Yes. Yeah. So that was part of the best. That was one of the best parts of CCKS for me, was going out to lunch with Jason and his girlfriend Amanda, and we didn't just talk knives the whole time. We kind of just talked about where they grew up, and like just it was just getting to know each other and just hanging out. My girlfriend was there, so the four of us were at lunch, and we just had a great time. That's what really, to me, the knife shows are about, is hooking up with friends and people that you see, either that you are internet friends with, if you will, or like Alex, I see him at the knife shows usually.
Well, I want to say like you and I make a real effort to get together. Like when you come down here, like we usually do most of the time that you come down here. So that's kind of cool. We do see each other a few times a year.
Correct.
Usually, which is awesome. Actually, that means I need to get my ass up there.
What needs to happen is Alex needs to come north.
Yeah.
Because every so often I go to Southern California, either for work or for like a watch event or to meet some other friends. And whenever I'm down in Southern California, Alex and I do try to get together, even if it's just for a coffee somewhere to hang out for 10 minutes as I'm leaving to drive home, things like that.
Yeah.
Will Carey says, has the Strider left? Yes. At the CCKS show, I was able to pick up a Strider show special. And the video actually just dropped on my channel this morning. And that's already shipped off to the new owner, and the new owner has it in Florida already and loves it.
So there's something about that too, this whole Strider deal. All right. Because it's a VZ Grips scale.
The VZ Grip scales, yes.
So I have an SNG, a 20 CV.
Okay.
With a VZ Grip scale on it. About 2 years old. It's warped like crazy. Like it constantly changes tolerance on the pivot and the lock face because of the plastic nature of it, like distorts over time.
That's interesting.
But but it might not do it on this one because I noticed this is like a nice thick construction. The
Yes.
one I have is like a striad, like kind of thing going on where like it's more like grip material, you know?
Hmm.
And those used to be able to be purchased aftermarket, but never on a knife from the get-go, right? Like this one was kind of,
Okay. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I guess
So
that's
I
going to
don't think this one
be.
will do that.
I guess it's going to be interesting to see what happens with it over time, perhaps. I don't know. They were pretty
I
thick. It
doubt
had the integrated
I
backspacer, how they do that all on that side.
right. Well, that's
Um,
what this one is too. It's like they call it a clamshell construction in a sense, right?
yes,
Like it's all, no backspacer. It's all two pieces, and they
correct.
make
Yep.
kind of like an L shape, right?
Yes. Yep.
So that's the problem with mine is that's where it starts to distort here. And then so in reflection on the front side where the pivot meets is where it starts to change tolerances. So all of a sudden you have a loose pivot and even worse, you have blade play. So then you
Hmm.
got to
Hmm.
crank it again. And then it's so bad, you got to like loosen it and
Loosen
leave the
it.
knife apart for about a week or two,
Ah,
reassemble it, and then it'll hold for 4 to 6 months again, is been my experience. I've had that thing for 2 years like that. But again, I don't think like when I held on to this one, it felt like harder plastic, like a harder material. I
yeah.
can actually flex
That's interesting.
mine with my thumb if I pinch it hard enough. It's that flexible.
Yeah, I was not able to flex that one.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see over time.
But when you
Byron
said
says,
VZ grips, I was like, oh no,
"Oh
at
yeah,
first.
no, I had no experience with them until
And then
I
I was
saw this
like,
one."
but the Bowie blade shape on that one was beautiful. Like
Yeah, they
the
did a
hollow
really good
grind,
job. Yep.
man. If
Now,
if
one
you're gonna have a strider, that is a good one.
one thing I did notice that I totally spaced about talking about on the video was where the lanyard hole was and the tip of the blade. The tip of the blade basically covered half of the lanyard hole.
Yeah,
And I didn't have a chance. I totally spaced it even before doing the video of trying to stick some paracord in there just to see how it would react. I'm guessing it's not going to react very well.
over
But
time.
over time,
More time.
I think the blade is going to contact a typical lanyard through that hole. That's my point, I think.
I agree. I mean, you
So
shouldn't be able to see it
I
through the
shouldn't be able
window.
to see the blade in about half of the hole, basically.
I don't
So
think in any of the whole personally,
I
but
agree.
you
So
know,
Byron says, howdy y'all. Thanks. Cool looking pairing steak knife. Yeah, great steak knife. And it could be a daily EDC fixie. Absolutely. Um,
that's
and
more how I see it. An
and
EDC fixie.
you may be able to get in the future some different sheaths.
Hmm.
You got one for your kitchen, you got one for your belt or inside a waistband. The possibilities are pretty endless, honestly.
No fucking donut theme.
Oh, I wonder if I can get him to do donut theme.
No fucking donut.
Speaking of a donut theme, I just saw pictures of somebody sent me, a buddy, that's
Yeah,
doing a Medford
Praetorian.
Praetorian tie
Aha,
as
we
a
have the
donut.
same
Like
buddy.
he's just waiting to get it back. Now I've seen, and my buddy Gil sent me a fighter flipper that I did a video
Mm,
on.
I saw
So
that.
maybe I can get the guy to send me the Praetorian tie. Nick, I've been eyeing Strider for a while now. I know there are typically build issues with them, but I love his grinds, Tanto XL in particular. Yeah, there's typical problems. This particular one had your standard, and I hate to say it, the standard Strider lock stick. It's just a thing.
Yeah, and again, here's another thing for me, and but being that I have this effed up scale, what I decided to do is take
Luck
the
has an answer for you.
yeah, I saw that the Aramis scale. No, what I'm gonna actually do is take the factory aluminum one
Hmm.
because the lock side is like a blue purple flame color with a Timascus clip.
Okay.
the factory scale is like a flat black kind of like pattern, slightly milled out scale, right? So I'm just gonna send it out and get it the black, white, and blue like super camo, and have somebody Cerakote that aluminum scale and put it back together like that.
Okay,
That's the plan.
that works.
And
Watch Sixto. What's going on, man?
hey, buddy.
So the other good part for CCKS for me was one, getting that Strider. I kind of waited in line outside with everybody, rushed into the booth, like literally jogged over to the Monkey Edge booth. It was about 15 people back in line and was able to get one. So that was super cool. And then I ran over to the Strider booth where my buddy was running to, and got to meet Mick Strider, his wife. That was kind of fun. And then walked around about half of the show and then hooked up with my buddy Tristan, who was down there. And I got to see and handle the King Battle.
I have yet to meet Tristan in person yet. And that sucks. I would have loved to meet him at that
He's
show.
totally awesome, dude. We hung out in the lobby of the hotel outside the show for probably hour and a half, just sharing what knives I had brought them down and what he had brought in.
He's a fairly well-known collector, I would say, in the community already. Like, if you know, like if you know, then you know, kind of.
Yeah, he's game of NAFs on Instagram.
Yeah,
just a super chill dude. So I got to handle the King Battle, got to take some videos and pictures of it with my battles. Got to share the Tim Gallion with him because he wanted to check that out. So it was just a good time. And then another buddy of his showed up, Mike. I got to meet him, who pulled out a Stan Wilson non-flipper flipper.
My dream knife.
Full dress, super crazy. So I got to experience one of those for the first time, which was super cool.
I would trade this entire knife box for one if somebody's got one. No,
Mike
I wouldn't do that.
That one that Mike had was available. I didn't ask how much because I was not buying a knife then. And I didn't want to.
But I don't think I can afford a full dress. Because
you just justify it in your mind. I didn't want to try to do that there.
I think the last like full dress one I saw was about 25 grand. There's Jim.
Yeah.
What's up, Jim?
Jim Skelton.
We got in the house, the man, the myth, the legend.
The non-flipper flipper, unlike me, was full dress. So Jim is recovering from some medical stuff. So he may be in states of undress there on his couch, I'm assuming. But just the mechanics of, so as innovative as the interface is in its materials and whatnot, the non-flipper flipper is equally, if not more innovative and stuff, just because how it functions mechanically. Yeah, it was crazy. I literally had to ask Tristan and Mike. I'm like, what's the secret to close it? Because I didn't know.
Jim did one of the first reviews on that knife on YouTube, actually.
I'm sure Jim did.
And there's a guy there, and he charges premium too, and he does a very good job. Don't get me wrong, but there's a guy that makes something I would almost classify as a ripoff. He's from Italy.
I've seen that recently on Instagram. Hasn't he been doing some stuff? I think I tagged you on some things.
He's been doing this for a few years. I know Stan Wilson's been doing it for way over a decade. I mean, Jim can chime in and tell me when those came out, but they've been out for a long time. And
Jim's was number 5.
Yeah.
Dude, they're crazy. I want one now. I never really wanted one, but now that I've handled one.
I messaged him even years ago to see if he could get me in with Stan Wilson. Like, I've always wanted a non-flipper flipper more than anything, and a rad cleaver. Those two knives will be part of my one-day acquisitions, which I'm starting to think I should start working on that. You know, like I've gotten to the point where I'm not really buying many knives or watches anymore recently. Like, kind of like plateaued. I have a bunch of crap. So I'm like, what do I keep? What, you know.
Yeah, it's time to start thinking about that. So Jim says that the guy that you're talking about from Italy or whatever was trained by Stan and does that with his permission. So that's very
I
cool.
figured he did. I
Just
think
the
you would have
mechanics,
to.
the mechanics of how it works is super interesting. I absolutely need to have one now just because. I'm not going to call it my grail, but it's something that I need to add to my collection because they were so cool.
Yep.
Luck getting the views for Jim. He's watched Jim's Stan Wilson shop video like 5 times. That was a good video of
That was
Jim
one
in
of
the
Jim's
shop
good.
with Stan. That was back in Jim's glory days when he's
Yep,
doing some
that's
really
him,
cool stuff.
Stefano.
Yep, Stefano, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've been seeing him make it for quite a few years, and he does it like slightly different too, where he has like a little like pressed in inset tab, like a button that you push in, and it'll release some stuff too. He has his own like really cool stuff.
Yep.
And I will say, for someone to try to replicate that kind of mechanism, that guy does it really good. He does it very, very well.
Absolutely agree.
But for me, in all honesty, like I know like everybody likes this guy too, but if you were an awesome knife maker that was capable of replicating that, like, would you, or would you just do something maybe a little different just to make it your own, you know? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, it was a good time to meet with Tristan and some others, handle it on Flipper.
Naked?
And then we went back into the show, saw the rest of the shows and the booths and things like that. And then went to lunch with Jason after hanging out at the Shiro booth trying to win a lotto for Tristan, but didn't win, but was able to pick up for Mike, Aussie Mike, the Shiro show special. This
That's
came,
a nice one.
I didn't actually pick it up, but Mike shipped it to me after, had whoever picked it up for him ship it to me. It's an F95T.
Yep, turtle. That's the turtle pattern.
In S110, is it? Oh,
That is
S90V.
That is a very nice knife.
So yeah, a video on this comes out in a couple days, and then this is going to go over to a Therapeutic Edge because I have some other knives from Mike to go to him. He's going to film them and then get them back to me, and then ultimately they will make it down to Australia at some point.
Down under, mate.
Yep. So yeah, so the show was very cool.
Cool.
I did not make it into TKI this year. I've actually never been to TKI or the Friday Night Blade Affair. I think in the fall, October or November, because their website doesn't actually give a date yet, but I've seen October and November. I think I may go to the Friday night event and the Saturday show and then fly home on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good one to catch if you want to capture like a very prime piece, I would say. That's like the first time the doors open, right when they get in and everybody's ready to roll and to sell some stuff. And it's expensive to get in though, you know, so like if you're not planning to buy something there, like it still might be worth it. Maybe
Yeah,
if you
there
want to meet
actually
the
is
makers.
so it's a $250 entry fee, but that automatically enters you in all the lottos and allows you to do auctions. Or there's a $100 participant fee where you can just get in and hang out.
Yeah.
So I might just go and hang out Friday night. I don't know if I'm baller enough. I'm trying to not buy many knives and watches in 2023. And Alex laughs because he knows that I may or may not have entered a lotto for a knife that might be pulled tomorrow at some point. It was an impulse. It might have been an impulse entry if I had have entered. And I'm kind of hoping that I don't win if I had have entered. Okay, fine. I entered a lotto for tomorrow from Recon 1 and Shirogorov.
And the RJ, the carbo tie bolsters.
RJ Martin collab with Shirogorov, which they've done before.
Why didn't you tell me, man? I would have entered this morning for you as well.
I think you can still enter.
Can I?
I think so. Check it out on Recon One. But
I'm
then
not
you have
buying
to
that
buy
shit,
it.
so
Like,
you better buy it if I win it.
well, you'll have to buy it, and I'll have to send you the money. They're very clear. The name on it is the person who has to buy it within 2 hours. But yeah, so I did enter that because I've been kind of wanting an RJ collab with Shiro for a while. I don't own any Shiros. So yeah.
You don't own any Shiros? Oh my god.
I know. That's like sacrilegious, right?
I guess. I want to talk about a little something too, because I went and hung out with Jim Moore, who did go to TKI today or that day.
Oh, okay. Well, right before that, after the show Saturday, I got to hang out with my buddy Alex on Sunday. He came to the hotel and hung out with us for breakfast. Well,
And
my girlfriend
handled the girthy Peacemaker.
and he got to handle for the first time the Peacemaker.
Yeah, that thing was
That
fun.
I blame Jim for. If Jim is still here, I blame you for this one too, buddy. I saw your video of this and I had to have one. And I finally did get one. This one came brand new from Phil. What? A couple of years ago now? Something like that. I don't remember exactly when I got it. But I love that thing. I literally had that in my pocket the entire show. And yes, got to pull it out quite a bit because everybody's like, what is that in your pocket? What
That's
is
what
there
she said.
5 or 6 inch clip hanging out of your pocket for? Crazy. So yeah, had a great time with that. So yes, I blame Jim for that, and I blame Jim for my Hellraiser addiction from Red Horse Knife Works. Those are the two that I blame Jim for. Sorry, love you, buddy.
I have a few too, but you know, he just does such a good job with the filmography, and you know, I like opinionated reviews. I don't like too much specs heavy. Like, I like opinions. I like you to tell me, well, what about this? Why did you, you know, send your money to that person for this product and decided that this was worth whatever you spend on? Like, I want to know like how it makes you feel. Like, what about it really rings your bell, you know? If you're just telling me all the specs and what makes it cool because it's made of carbon fiber and this and that, that's something I can read on a spec sheet. And that's what Jim was always really good at, was entertaining you as you're watching the video. And I love that. And, you know, it takes you on a ride. And a lot of his old videos are like that, where they just start and, you know, they get real wild. I gotta say, probably the king of them all was probably the infamous DOC clip video. That was a good one. That one always made me laugh. The FU clip, as he would say. So anyways, but TKI. So Jim Moore acquired a Sinkovich dual detent, but it's actually a triple detent slip joint flipper.
Hold on, wait a second. What? Triple what?
So
what you talking about, Willis?
So this was so cool, right? So it's basically a knife. Like, it's not the Scout, you know, ignore the lock bar. It's kind of a slip joint because it wouldn't have, like, there's no lock bar. There's just basically a detent ball here. And then there's another one up at the top right here. So as you open the knife, there's a detent ball that locks it in this position as a half stop. And then another one that locks it like this, right? So it's got the most weirdest feeling ever. What's up, Beard of Doom?
So the half stop on a typical slip joint is just another detent.
Yes. And
because
it was
there's no
really
spring.
Cool. Yeah. So he was showing me like the guys like to like really push really hard. Hard enough where you can overcome it and close it all the way. because he didn't win it. He bought it off somebody that had won it.
Yeah, that
And
happens a lot, which is crazy to me. But yes.
so when he bought it, the next day, when Jim went to the show on Saturday, he says, "Hey, I know you have that knife. Let me show you how to properly open it." So the way, so he goes, "Yeah, when you open it, you need to push, and because there's not like a sharp area, there's more of a flat area here. He's like, you need to push and overcome the detent." I'll just pretend like, like the lock bar disengage, right?
Yes.
So you rotate it with 2 fingers and let it lock like this. And then he says you push and lock it like this is the proper way to do it, from the main.
Yeah, I tried to hook up with it. We were supposed to get together on Saturday at the show, and we just totally miss each other. I don't know what happened, but I brought down the Omega D Black that he wanted to see, and we just never connected. So that's what happens. There's a lot of people there. It's hard to really connect with everybody you want to connect to, and it's kind of short. I mean, it's all day, but by the time you spend time with these people and time with those people and time at the booths and time at this, the day gets away from you and you didn't see everybody you wanted to see. But you saw other people that you didn't necessarily know you were going to see. So it's a cool time for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I do plan to go back down in October. Well, for the fall event, whenever that is. So maybe me, you, and Jim can go to lunch or dinner or something.
For sure.
And I'll probably go to the Friday night thing just because I never have. Tristan always goes to those. So I'm going to hang out with the Richie Rich people that day and, act like a big shot at the Friday Night Blade Affair.
That sounds like fun, as always.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
And if I only take like $500 in cash, I can't get in too much trouble. Right?
You're gonna need more than that.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to buy knives.
No, you are going to want to.
I'm going to want to, but if I don't bring any cash, it's like self-fulfilling, helping myself not.
Just bring $2,000 and then you'll be like,
yeah, beard,
this
famous
way I don't
last
spend
words.
too much,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Nah, man, I told you, like literally earlier today, I was out looking at some open houses for houses. So it's more of a goal this year is, being ready to buy a house, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
That's a good goal.
Napa and the surrounding areas, super crazy prices.
To be fair, the knife show's at the end of the year anyways. So you'll be done with all that already.
I know. Maybe. So I don't know. It's a good time. So if anybody was there at the show, let us know what you got. When I did my live event on Friday or on Monday, there was a couple of people in there that chimed in that were at the show that I actually got to meet that I didn't even know they had channels and stuff like that. But
that's cool.
It was fun.
The fun is to meet people.
Dude, you're not wrong, Jim. I hear you. Yeah. I've looked out of state too. Actually, the other day I was looking out of the country. As crazy as that is, I've never actually traveled out of the country, but I looked at some houses in Ireland because I have some friends that are there. And so I just glanced. It's much cheaper there.
Yep.
I don't know.
They were
Florida, Beard, Doom. Look, Florida, y'all got bugs. I heard about bugs in Florida. And then you got these like hurricane things. I don't know if I can handle bugs and hurricanes. One or the other, I might be okay with. But I hear you got bugs. When I mean bugs, I mean like bugs. So I don't know if that works for me. Just saying.
So I acquired a new knife this week, Dirk.
Yes. Let's see it.
All right. The War Pig. So this thing is chubby, and it is my least favorite model by Ed, but it matches the whole set. And when I actually got it in the hand, it was actually a lot more fun and comfortable than I expected. So I do like it. I wasn't expecting a compound grind and such like an aggressive clip.
Yeah. What's the pocket clip look like?
deep carry like the other ones. It matches my other ones.
Oh, like he
Same.
did on when he redid the ones on the others?
Yep. So the
Okay, perfect.
Hellraiser, the Chopper, and this
Okay,
one all
perfect.
match. And, I was very wary about this flipper. I'm like, is this thing going to flip? So the first thing I did is like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to try to like, light switch it. And of course, it doesn't flip worth a shit when you do that. I was like, oh no, But then I just realized like this little flat tab, when you light switch it, it flips like really good. So yeah, you see that?
Okay.
Just kidding. But yes. So sometimes it's some things are a lot better than expected, and then some things need improvement. The other thing too is when you look at the lockup on the blade, like
Yeah.
red horse knives and locks.
Yep.
So
Little stick.
mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of par for the course from them on those mid-tech version stuff. I mean, gotta love it, but that is a thing.
Well, as I told a good friend of mine that handled this at work, I don't buy these for the fit and finish.
No. No,
Like,
they're beasts. They're
they're just
awesome, and we just love them.
cool. They're cool knives, and they do cut very well, by the way. This thing came razor sharp. It's actually a very good cutting tool, and it's very comfortable in the hand. It's just
Very
a
cool.
bit of a brick in your pocket because it's
Yeah, but
substantial.
that's what you're expecting. So
Yes.
for sure. And Doom, yes, we've got earthquakes, mudslide, fires, and taxes. So your bugs and your hurricanes win. I'll give you a point for that. I'll give you a point for that, man.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have an earthquake than a hurricane.
And Lux says no CCKS acquisitions, but he does have a Chavez custom arriving whenever UPS decides to start delivering again. Holidays, yeah. I
That's
had
cool,
a
man.
FedEx box come yesterday, and I waited around all day until they came because I didn't want to wait all the way until Tuesday. Jim got a new knife. Helped me recover from the surgery. Kept me company. Bet you can't guess what it is. What did Jim
We
get as a
can
new
never
knife?
guess what it is. We can never guess what it is.
Does anybody in the comments have a guess as to what Jim bought? I'm not even going to try to guess because we're all going to be wrong.
I
But if
did get a
anybody's
knife
got it,
from Jim, though.
oh,
I
that's
got,
right.
yes,
Let's
I got
get a close
another
up
knife.
of that, and then we'll ask Jim in a few minutes what he got.
So this is a custom scaphoid. And look at this beautiful design that he put on here. So this is actually to match the G-Shock that I have, the Tron, which comes in a grid pattern just like this one. And then he had this really awesome guy make a beautiful sheath for it. It is sharp. It's very pokey. It's a great EDC size. It's very comfortable in the hand. So, I told him keep the handle as thin as possible, but he made it just perfect. So you have just the right substantial amount, but you got a nice, very sharp, usable little stabby thing. And it's really important to me when you make a knife like this that the tip has to be perfect, right? Because that's the whole point of this blade shape. So if you grind a knife and the tip is not perfect, that is very, very bad. And this one here is perfect. We got a nice tip on this one. That's what she said.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. And I think it looks like the sheath is the same sheath maker as the guy who did my mini Hellraiser from Jim.
It's Mackie.
I think that's the same guy, and it's super cool sheath. Like
amazing,
very
quality.
Good sheath for sure. I'm actually gonna maybe reach out. I have a knife that my dad made like back in the 50s, maybe when he was like in high school. Man, it was probably before that. Back in the early 40s, he made some butcher cleaver knife thing that I would like to get a leather sheath for, just to keep it in the drawer. Like it's not a carry it or anything. So I may reach out to that guy or another guy, just I think that might be cool. So Jim
that
says
guy
his
is
knife,
great, man. His prices were great. His yeah,
I
that
may
guy,
reach out to him. So
yeah.
Jim says it's a
And like,
production knife that has super fine milled texture.
you
All
know
right.
what's cool too is like, you know, when it's a good sheath by the way the leather smells.
Yes.
Like this smells good. Like this smells like really good, like off the hide of a nice
Huh.
fat plump cow in Texas. It's well fed, grass fed, all that stuff.
Yeah, and Jim's knife is not American made. So that kind of helps narrow it down a little bit. Jim says no, it's not American made. So
He says Chinese or it's he's asking Chinese or Italian.
Chinese or Italian, Jim? Is it a Chinese knife or an Italian knife? I'm going to say it's a Chinese. I'm going to guess it's a Chinese knife. Don't know for sure.
Well, it could be a Shiro if he's saying it's a production knife and it has super fine milled texture.
Could be. So what were you carrying in your pocket today, Alex?
I was carrying the Scout when I went to go see Jim. This is still like my absolute favorite in the box. This is my sell the whole collection, keep one. Yeah, my little Scout. I love this thing.
All right, so another tidbit on Jim. It's a titanium integral or integral. We never will know how to really pronounce that, but it's one of those, and it's not made in the United States. Luck Knives, formerly known as NAF Sergeant, formerly known as NAF, always known as Mike, says, is it an annex?
That's a good guess.
Lou says, is it a scavenger?
If it's the annex, I don't know like how I feel about that. That's a very weird guess, but a good one.
Oh, Beard of Doom has the Shiro Aquatic for sale.
Already?
Anybody looking for that?
Already, man?
I mean, all right. Oh, Jim says it's, in his opinion, superior to the production annex. So it's not an annex. It's probably not a scavenger, since Jim hasn't mentioned that one. But if somebody's looking for the Shiro Aquatic,
scavenger is more it's more of like it's a fine line, but I guess it would be we used to call them customs.
I do like the Shiro Aquatic. I'm not gonna lie, Doom, because I have one. I have Alex's here still.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more thing to film, one more watch, and then everything can get shipped. I've been kind of slacking on filming that watch, but I'll get it done. Tomorrow is going to be a big filming day. It's the Oceanus. So I do like the Shiro, but since I don't know, maybe. No, I'm not buying any knives. Not buying knives. Jim says it's not an ADV. Lou has the Shiro Aquatic for sale also. Is that what I'm hearing? Luck Knives, the Dan Carr, or however you spell his name, integral. I think that's a good guess comment too. To Jim.
Good guess, Mike. But I think Jim already had those on the channel.
Jim, he wants an aquatic, but it's just a wish for now. Doom, just ship it to Jim. He'll pay you later. Just ship it.
I know. I'm actually supposed to have Dirk ship mine to Jim for him to check out, but I'll have Dirk ship mine back to me, and you just ship that one over to Jim.
Oh, that's right. I think I was supposed to send the share to Jim. I can send that out on Tuesday for sure, so you can at least check it out, Jim.
And then the other one to Red Horse, the Ronin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta check with you. So today in my pocket, when I was out home window shopping,
send you some money for that, by the way,
was the Vandermeulen double homicide number. I don't remember, 82 maybe. I don't remember the number of this one. So all right, Jim's giving us one last hint here.
Toxic thumb studs.
Toxic green thumb stud, and is so amazing that it might be my production knife of the year this year.
Can you say country of origin, Jim? I think that's a fair little piece of tidbit. At least that narrowed down a little bit, because right now we've got nothing.
So it's not a
It's
Benchmade
a
Anthem.
really nice knife, and it's got blue thumb studs.
Toxic green thumb studs.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
we need more.
Yeah, I'm a little stumped, Jim. I think you've stumped the experts at this point. Okay, so it's a China-made knife.
China.
All right, so let's scroll back here. So we've got a China-made knife. We've got production, green thumb studs, fine milling.
My next question, what
he
is
said
the
it was his last
green
hint,
thumb studs made of? Titanium or something else?
Yeah, he said it was his last hint. We're asking too much now.
All right. Then I'm not interested anymore.
James Brand Barnes.
Oh yeah.
So James Brand Barnes.
Dude, Mikey is on it, man. He's freaking on it right now. Those are awesome guesses.
Luck got it. I'm in love, and yes, it's new. It's a new knife. I didn't say it came out this year.
Yeah,
all right.
That's it. That's what I mean. I'm like, Mikey's on it, man. Like, that was an awesome guess. Awesome guess.
I might have something to send you, Mike, for winning this little impromptu game. I'll find something to send you, and it won't be stickers because I don't have a freaking logo, so it won't be stickers. I got something. You won't super be excited about it, but you'll get something just because I'm that guy.
Nice.
Jim, thanks for playing.
I know, that was fun. Honestly, that would have gone nowhere, and I would have lost interest if not for Mike. Mike is on it, man.
No, those were great guesses.
Now that I think about it, and it makes sense,
Jim sleeps with a Boker mermaid under his pillow. Oh yeah, sure. He goes, I won your VC Edge. Thanks. No.
the flashlight.
So you're shipping, Jim?
As long as the barrel is in toxic green.
You're gonna ship that, Jim? Thanks. Actually, at the show, which was kind of cool, one thing I didn't mention about the show is I got to handle one of Jim's Cylon flashlights or torches, whatever we're going to call it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Focusworks was there. Jody? I got his card over here. I totally spaced in his name. But he was pretty cool. He was a cool dude. I talked to him a little bit, got to handle the Cylon, which is Jim's designed flashlight. Very cool light. And then also the Focusworks had some of their own lights there, which were pretty cool too. I think it's the F2 that I kind of liked. It uses like a 14500 battery, I think it is. So it's a little bit slimmer than the Cylon, which is an 18650 battery, but a little bit thicker. Yeah, Jordy. But a little bit thicker than like a AA, maybe just a little bit bigger than a AA. So it was kind of a happy medium because the 18650 battery lights can get a little bit big in your pocket, I think.
That's what she said.
So I've kind of moved to really, I carry a AAA Olight most of the time these days. But those F2s, I think, is the model. They were pretty cool. And they've got them in aluminum for like $175. And then they had a full Damascus type one or whatever for like 700, which is totally, relatively reasonable because that's ridiculous to pay for a flashlight, but it's not. I don't know. I've tried to stay away from the flashlight game, but I did like Jim's design of the Cylon. That was pretty cool.
And there was some affordable models.
Yeah, there were. And there still are. I think they're still selling the Cylons on the websites and stuff. The super crazy expensive ones aren't available right now. You could probably order them and they'd make you a full Damascus or Zircon tie one or something like that. But yeah, so Focusworks was pretty cool. I liked what they had to offer there, and they had like some other spinners and some stuff there too, which was cool. But yeah, I may end up with one of their Focusworks lights. I don't think I'm baller enough to carry a Cylon, but maybe we'll see.
They are
Beard of
pretty
Doom
cool.
asks if we liked his pocket sword. The Max Ace, is it the Vortex? That
I
one looks
have
very
not
cool,
seen
and
it
I want to
yet.
check that out. So when I send you my fixed blade for the little doodad thing, when you send the fixed blade back to me, can you send me the Vortex to check out?
Speaking of sword, by the way, I just want to pause and tell everybody to see Advanced Knife Bros' new Cold Steel sword video. It is effing hilarious.
That was a pretty cool one. And we're going to have him on the show here soon.
Yeah, he'll be on the show pretty soon. But that, yeah, that it's good. Just go watch it. That's all I have to say. I don't want to ruin any of it.
All right. So Lou says, and this is kind of going towards Jim, even though Jim says it's his knife of the year, maybe. Lou was under the impression that James brand knives were overpriced for what they are. I guess I've been misinformed. I know they were knife resembles to me anyway, the Chavez rendition.
That's fair. It does resemble that a little bit.
So Jim says they're not cheap, but the Barnes is not overpriced.
And
I get that. So
kind of subjective anyways.
Pricing is very subjective. So the VC Edge interface, and I can only, I'm just going to use by what I have in my hand right here at the table, right? This particular one, the normal one was like $950. I think they're $1,150 now. And this full dress one was like $3,400. So is that overpriced? I don't know. Timascus lock bar, Damasteel blade, carbon fiber with the carbon fiber inlay. The scale has carbon fiber with a different carbon fiber inlay. Some special handwork stuff on this one. I was willing to pay it without question. So for me, it was reasonable. But for you, that might not be reasonable. Spending
it's
$700 on a flashlight might be ridiculous for you, where for me it's only a little bit overpriced. I think it's all relative.
I think it's okay either way, because I think it's okay for him to think it's overpriced, and I think it's okay for Jim to say it's not.
Oh, I agree. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just kind of open discussion here. I think it's
that knife does kind of dance around that fine line. I remember when it did come out, and me personally, I kind of.
What's the model name again?
Everybody's gonna say, of course, but I'm kind of siding with Jim that I kind of like this one too. I didn't buy it because never got around to it. Or maybe
what is the model number of that Barnes again?
I totally forget, man. It's been a while since I've looked at one of those, but it kind of also resembles a knife that I have, which is the Lion Steel SR. What is it? The SR1 that I have, and that one's an integral titanium with a Chad Nichols Damascus blade. And if it looks kind of like that same, well, I don't know.
So is this the one, Jim, that you've got? Or similar?
That I think that is, well, I'm thinking of a different knife for some reason, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked.
I could be wrong. I'm just doing some quick Googlicious here.
Where's the main page? Does it have like a little
I don't know. I just kind of did some Google stuff here and just found this really quick.
We go back to the
here and go back.
No, go back in there, man. Let's look at it. Let's find the green
trying
thumbs.
to find the oh, hold on here. Maybe I go to their actual website.
What in the world? That's a mantis, bro. No, that's not James Brown, is it? Oh, is it?
Yeah, James Brown.
Oh, goodness gracious. I've never seen that little fixed blade before. The Palmer. That's what she said. Yeah, that's the Barnes. So I think that's the blacked out version, but it came with a satin blade and blue thumb studs with more of a gray titanium handle as well. I think that's the one that everybody's thinking of.
Okay, give me a second here. Jim says he Facebooked me, messaged a picture of his. So I'm going to go over here and grab that picture if I can figure out how to use this.
I hope it's not a dick pic.
Jim wouldn't do that to me.
You know, the first knife I ever bought from Jim was a custom little finger, and it actually said that on the business card that was part of the like certificate of authenticity. It leaves his email address and it says no dick pics. That was genius.
Oops, wrong button here.
I laughed so fucking hard when I opened that package and I saw that. I really thought that was great. That was funny.
So let me see if I can do this here. Let me stop sharing that one and then reshare this one. That's a great picture too, by the way, Jim. Give me a second here to share that screen with people here. This is this one.
There you go. That's the one I was thinking of. So that's the same knife.
Yeah, same knife, just in a different configuration.
Yeah, but to me, it's good to look at that because that is definitely, to me, the lot more attractive version because you know I'm a sucker for green anyways. Like,
does it come with the lanyard from them?
Yes, but okay. I think that one you can take off.
Okay, and Jim says that it's $550 for a DLC Annex Integral or $540 for the Barnes. And Jim says the Barnes is significantly nicer than the Annex.
Well, I think that the Barnes is a more grown-up knife. It's going to be much, you know, I mean, if you look at like the rear of the knife, the way that it kind of like rounds out, like it's not only just a integral construction, but it's also like really crowned heavily. And I like that. I think that's pretty sick. Look, you can even see that there's a milled out pad right underneath the pocket clip.
I like that. I'm guessing that works really good in the pocket.
Yeah. And then they didn't even bother to hide the steel insert. They put it like right in your face. They left it bright steel colored. So there's that steel lock insert right there.
Mm-hmm.
The pivot color on that one side, which probably acts as an overstop or something like that, is what I can see, right? You know, and the blade is nice. It's pokey. And the thumb stud is actually exaggerated a little bit up in positioning, which will make it easy to open, right? Or easier.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Will it pass Dirk's pocket clip test? I think not, because I think, well, maybe. It just depends on if the padding under the clip is the full width of the clip, or if it's just like a Shiro where it's a little sliver on top.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty good. I don't know. Jim's going to have to send it to me to check out, so I don't know.
That's not going to have a lot of spring, I would think, being that it's, you know, I would like to see if it's part of the handle or if it's got to be bolted on somehow, like from an internal screw, I'm assuming. But it's pretty far back there, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be hidden hardware from inside. Well, it's integral.
What's up with that clip, Jim?
How is the clip? I'll send it to you,
Dirk. Is that part of the
Dirk,
handle, or is that you know?
Perfect, thank you, sir. How's the retention on the clip? Does it work well?
Yeah, that would be interesting. But I think that is a nice knife.
It's screwed in from the inside.
Didn't Mike have one of these?
That goes 90 degrees.
I think Luck Knives had one of these for a little while too, like when they came out, like a year or so, or 2 years ago, whenever that was. But
Luck has everything, dude. Yeah. Luck goes through a lot of cool stuff, but because Luck has had stuff, I've been lucky and gotten some things from Luck.
I got to fondle that one too.
When he decided to start making knives and had to sell some stuff, I got lucky with this one.
Well, it took a while, but you know, eventually, I think it came in the right hands.
Yeah, the clip works very well. It's a Riot. Okay, so Riot made it, so that explains a lot of it right there.
Hydraulic,
honestly.
not drop shutty. That's fine. It's hard to make a
Sort of like a Rockstead Shin
okay.
Shine.
Okay. I've
Yeah,
handled
drop
one of
shutty
those.
kills me. Drop
That's
shutty's
more of a glassy type
yeah,
action,
glassy hydraulic.
rock
Yeah,
studs. So
that's super cool, man.
very nice. I like that. I like that.
All right,
And
can't
I
wait to check it
think,
out. And the black and the green is so my jam. I love
yeah,
that configuration of that one,
I
Jim.
like it
Freaking
better.
awesome.
So my question is, do you guys want to see us start discussing knife models like this? That's something me and Dirk were talking in the background about how we're going to start structuring these episodes. So you guys can reach out to us and let us know if you
Please.
have like suggestions of things that you would like us to do or see, because we're about to restructure it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We have tons of ideas. So it's probably going to take a little bit. But yeah, we're going to try to make it fun. So
Yeah,
continue with the guests. And,
2023, we want to step it up a little bit now that it's almost March.
Yep.
And just do things a little bit different. Still have some guests. Some of the
Yep.
guests that we're going to be
Surprise them.
having is just coming up soon is going to be Advanced Knife Pros. Not in any particular order. We still got to schedule a lot of stuff. Rit from Atlas Knives.
Mhm.
I know Jim destroyed one of these avian knives. Sorry, avian knives with the Atlas model.
Mhm.
This is a pretty cool knife. I haven't done my video yet, but because I'm a little nervous because Jim spent like 40 minutes talking about how great and wonderful it was. And so I don't want to, I got to be careful. So I've been a little intimidated by doing a video on this one because Rit's a friend of mine too. So super drop shutty, but no hardware. No hardware.
Yep.
No tools.
Toolless.
Like completely toolless. Like you don't need nothing. These are your tools. So it's totally different, which is good and maybe negative. So you got to watch my video once I film it for all the details. But we're going to have them on. We're going to have him on. We're going to have Odin Custom on again because he switched from hand tool made. He's got a CNC up and going now. And I've got the very first knife he ever CNC'd over on my other table, as well as a prototype of one of the other folders that he made. So I want to have him back on to talk about his transition from hand milling to CNC and how that worked. The guys from Sharknivko, Edison and Mariella, awesome people. They're in the middle of moving.
That'll
They
be
got
a
to
good
move
one.
and they've got some stuff going on there. They're also in Florida. So we want to have them on. Bearded Doom, we've talked to him in the background. We might have him on. He's a little hyper, he's a little much. We got to have a dress code for him, and we got to kind of like.
I bet you he's gonna set up studio in the toilet. He's gonna do the whole thing while he's sitting on the can.
We're going to have to kind of vet some stuff when we have Bearded Doom on, but we do want to have him on because
He's got
is
to
a cool
bring the
guy.
purple gorilla too.
Yeah, Bearded Doom is just a cool dude. I talk to him a lot behind the scenes, and so I do want to have him on and talk about his new live stream that he's going to come up with and starting here in March as well. So we're going to have some cool people, and if you've got any ideas of people you want to see on, let us know either in the comments of this video, hit up Alex or me individually, because we want to have on people that you guys want to hear. And we'll have Jim back on again too, because Jim is a very good friend of both Alex and I. So Jim is welcome pretty much anytime Jim wants to chime in. So did I cover everything?
Yeah,
most
man.
things?
Yeah, absolutely. When's the next knife show? To know
the next one for me, realistically, is probably CCKS in the fall. I'm not going to make it to Blade. I don't even know if I ever want to go to Blade Show. There's too many people at CCKS, and it's hectic and stuff there. And I had the most fun outside of the show floor, just talking with Tristan and Mike and you and other folks. Waiting in line was so fun to talk to people.
Yeah, that's why I usually go.
The tens of thousands of people in Blade, I don't think I want to deal with that many people. Yeah, you know what we should do?
What?
You know what we should do? We should take a trip back east and do a show from Jim's house.
Mm.
Take a little vacation trip and go and see Jim in person.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I got family in Delaware too, so that might not be a bad deal.
I have family in New Jersey.
Yeah, send me some pictures and some info. I'll see what I can do, Jim.
So
yeah, Blade West is going to be in Utah again. What's the dates? Do you know, Luck? Because
Utah might be fun though. Then I could
have
go
friends
see
in
Jiro.
Utah, and I go to Utah a lot anyway. Yeah, I would love to see your state. One of the things I am going to do on my normal channel, and I've been saying it for a long time, is do like a studio tour. If that's interesting, I think it might be. I watch a lot of video of studio tours. I may do that at some point, so it'd be cool to go check yours out, Jim.
Well, when Jim started doing reviews where he almost before he crossed into knife maker, which was ages ago, but I remember he did those things. He interviewed people at the shop, and then you get to see the tooling, and
yep,
that was super cool. I love it when reviewers do that. I watched one on Ed's once, his crazy warehouse setup he's got going on in there. Looks like the chemical factory that the Joker fell into, the pool of stuff, is what it looks like in there,
I would kind of like to do some of those in 2024, honestly.
Yeah.
Fly out and see Ed. Fly out and see Jim, maybe before 2024. But fly to a couple of these places for a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And just do some filming there, chat with them, maybe do a quick live from their spot. I don't know. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know
absolutely.
if it'd be, beneficial and a lot of people would chime in and watch or, whatever, but I think it'd be fun. It'd be a blast.
Yeah, I think so. They're fun, and first time ever filming any sort of live event was just that one I tried with the Sunday CCKS that I did last time. And it's more nerve-wracking than people think when you're sitting with your goofy ass with your phone in your hand. You're like, hey, dude, hold on a second.
Yeah, I didn't film anything in the show. I didn't really take pictures in the show. I kind of I don't know. I had these great ideas of what I wanted to do, and then have a knife day, did what I wanted to do. Now we're talking. We're there.
I want to shoot the mini cannon, Jim. I want that when I'm there, the first thing I want to do is shoot the mini cannon. I don't know if you guys seen that episode.
We got to plan that for real. But yeah, I thought about it, CCKS in the fall, literally getting a chest thing and just going live on my phone as I walk in the door. Not even interact with the video, just let it play live and just talk to people and just do a live the whole time I'm walking around the show.
Yep.
It sounds good in my head, but then I get kind of nervous and shy about it. So I don't know if I could really do it or not. We'll see.
I once you get it was the first 3 people I talked to were kind of scary, but on person number 3 was that composite company.
Okay, yeah.
And if you remember, that guy was standing as stiff as a pole. He was like this, right?
He was more nervous than you.
Yeah. So I'm I'm starting to get it. They're more nervous than I am. So then my attitude kind of flipped around okay. And then because what happens is if you let it be as you're in deer in headlights and he's in deer in headlights, it's gonna make a poor video. You'll be like,
yep.
So what do you do?
Yeah.
And instead, so I had to be okay, and I didn't know what to say. So I just started looking at shit. I'm like, well, what is that? Dude, that looks cool. I want that shit on a knife, and that's just how you got to roll with it, and lead them along.
I definitely want to do more of that at the next show, but we'll see because I get kind of caught up in just talking to people. So that's why I thought maybe just go live and just let it be what it is.
Or maybe you and I can collaborate.
Ooh.
Because
We can do
then you
that.
can have one cameraman, one guy interviewing, and swap around. It'd be easy.
Yeah, we got to come up with something because I think I missed a lot of opportunities there to share the show with more people.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Next
But that's
time.
what we got going on, guys. I think we're gonna change up a little bit. Any guests you want to see, let us know. And they don't have to be famous people. They could be collectors because we're gonna have some collector people on too. I think that's very cool to see how they
YouTubers,
collect.
collectors,
YouTubers,
makers,
collectors,
knife
makers.
company of composites, blade
Mhm.
steels, online retailers, anybody. Like, we're okay with that. Like, we like that stuff. And if you guys really request somebody enough, we'll go and harass them and figure
Yep.
out how to get them on the show.
Keep me posted, Mike. I'm here all week, all month. Like I'm always here, but we'll figure something out. If you come to NorCal, let me know.
He's going to go investigate some Russian spy balloons
Yeah, I don't know.
after the Chinese ones,
Yeah. So I think that about covers us for tonight, right? It's getting kind of late for you East Coast guys. Jim's got to recover, so he got to get some sleep there. Knife
You
Junkies
guys
the
are
other day. Oh
old.
yeah, EDC for fun. Yeah, it was cool. I made a comment there on the Knife Junkies live, and he's like, if anybody wants to come in, Dirk, you can join. So I kind of jumped in there for a little bit and just chatted with him, which is always a good time. Bob is one of the super great guys in this industry. So I love it.
We all love Bob. He's near and dear
Thanks,
for
Jim.
me.
Appreciate you hanging out, and we'll talk about some watches you got to sell and all that good stuff here later.
Good to see you, Jim.
All right, everybody. Have yourselves a great night. We will be back. Are we coming back next week, or are we going to go 2 weeks? Because this is not our normal week.
Nah, let's just go back to let's come back in 2 weeks and just keep a routine. This way we'll prep for a guest and maybe have like a slight
Have our stuff
thing,
together, so to speak.
or some stuff together that we can experiment.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. We may start to ramp up and do every week. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something. Mix it up a little bit. So thanks everybody for joining. We do greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Anything else? Last words, Alex?
Yes, that's what she said.
And we're out.